Alrighty guys, welcome to another video in which we're going to be explaining some of the basics of Red Moon 2 yet again. Today we're going to be going over a couple of things, which is your skill setup and how you get unlock points, how you use them, and exactly what skill points are used for. So as you progress through the game, you'll be doing quests to the point where you unlock your daily mission. There's a whole quest chain in this game, and as you do certain quests, you will reach points in which you will gain unlock points. Your unlock points will be shown up at the top right corner of your skill menu, which you can access by pushing F5. These unlock points let you unlock skills in either the red tier, the blue tier, or a combination of both. But you gotta remember, when doing unlocking of skills, you can only unlock them in a systematic order, meaning I have to start with the first skill on the list. So if I'm trying to do a combination build, I could maybe go up to the third red skill and the third blue skill. So any combination of 6 going in a linear fashion. So you get a few different ideas to your builds. You're going to have to experiment a bit, and you'll understand that some characters do better with hybrid builds, some do better as pure red, and some do better as pure blue. So as you progress, you're doing through this game, you'll see you'll get these unlock skills, and you'll have a general idea on what type of build you want to go. So in this essence, for this character, I'll be just going pretty much all the way down the red tree, because I'll put 1 point in the blue tree, just so you guys could see that you could do a combination of both. So as you push one in, it'll ask you, oh, do you want to unlock this skill? And as you can see, every time I unlock it, my unlock points go down. So we're just gonna go all the way across up to here. As you see, I have 1 unlock point left, and then it's like I can't unlock any of these skills at all. But you could tell which ones you can unlock. So I have a choice now. I could get the Solar Blade skill, or I could get the Warp. For reference sake, I'm just gonna grab the Warp skill at the bottom here, just so you could go over how to use skills and all of that. And then that's pretty much how you unlock your skills. You'll have to read up on that, figure out which skills you want. So the next thing we're going to go over is the casting of skills. So there's a certain ways you could cast skills here. If you hover over each skill, you will see it has a cast button. You could change this to whatever button you want. What this means is you can quickly cast each of these skills by just pushing the cast button and by targeting your target. So that one casts Dark Sword like so. That one is the Windwalker by pushing S. Then I can push D to cast that, and so forth. And of course, pushing Z on my keyboard casts Warp. So that. So there's also this little function that says set to mouse. So for example, if I set a skill to my mouse by going the hotkey method, it will automatically switch that cast button to be the right click. There's one catch to this though. So if I go and switch a different skill with the quick way of doing it, like this one, Control S, if I do that, it removes what the cast was initially, so it won't remember the cast was D on that. So there's 2 ways you could play this game. Is you could be the type of guy who likes using great skill for everything and then using the control buttons to swap your right click to be the skill you want to use, or you could just put the right skill as your main one, and then you set up a system of cast buttons which work for you, and you could literally remap any button on your keyboard to do those castings. So it's a neat feature in the game. This wasn't a part of the previous versions of Red Moon, so I suggest playing with that until you get comfortable with a keyboard layout that suits you and your needs. So that's the basics of casting. One neat trick you guys need to know is anything set towards your mouse buttons, you can actually just hold in and your character will keep repeating that option. For example, I am holding in the left button, I am continuing my left click attack. If I hold down the right button, I will continually cast Starlight Shower like so. Just holding it down, not pushing the button. So that's the neat feature of doing that on your 2 mouse buttons. That does not work for the keyboards though. The next thing we're going to go over is what exactly is skill EXP and skill points. So as you look at your character page, you will notice that on the skill page, by pushing F5, you have skill EXP. Whenever this skill EXP maxes out, which is also this purple S bar at the F1 menu, you will gain 1 skill point. Each skill you have on your skill menu takes a different amount of skill points to level up the skill. For example, looking at Soul Blade, it has different skills to level up, and you can see it costs 1 skill point to level up Controlled Breathing, which reduces its mana cost. You get eyesight, etc. Each skill is self-explanatory. It tells you exactly what it does, and as you click on it, it says, are you sure you want to unlock the skill upgrade by using a skill point? And as you see, I used one, and my skill points have decreased. And depending on the tier of skill you're leveling up, it costs more. And the more points you put into it, the more the skill is going to cost as well. As you see, leveling this one, it's now costing 1,200 skill points, 1,500, etc. Those are your active skills. Goes through that, there's some buff skills there, and then there's these passive skills that your character always have, and they work the exact same way. They're a good way to get your character boost the strength that you need to progress content and certain things you need to do there. So passive skills work the same way. They usually start off pretty low for the first few points, trying to get points in. As you see, this Juggernaut keeps going a little bit higher, and then it starts going higher and higher. So it's up to you to figure out what's a good play around on investing skill points into your active skills, your main attack skills, and whichever passives. 2 great passives to level up right away would be the Harden, the Shell, and both Mindful. Mindful should be the one you level up no matter what right away, and then Juggernaut and Fitness between the body development and defensive stance. Those 2 skill passives are the 2 ones you should level up as soon as you can, as soon as you feel comfortable with your damage in the game, because it will help you progress the furthest. Currently in this game right now, there is a cap to your skill points. It's sitting at about 50,000 right now. That on most characters is enough to max out all your skills. So all you gotta do to do that is work on getting some EXP. There are different spots in the game that give you much more skill EXP. So just work on the grind and you'll be able to max everything out. Couple of small tricks when you are respeccing your character, which I'll quickly go into in a little bit right now. But when you reset your stats, when you use a poison pill or anything like that, you can quickly level up skills by holding the shift button and clicking on the plus. It will ask you, unlock all upgrades for your skill points using 316 skill points. What that does for quick is it puts in all 15 all at once. That way you don't have to click that many times. But it always tells you how much it's going to take. So as you can see, these ones usually take a bit more to go up and going forward like that. And you can see, oh, Harden takes that much, etc. One thing I forgot to mention actually is every character in this game has its own unique individuality bonus as well. So that's one thing you need to look at and see what your character has, what it does. 2 of them that are similar between both cohesion damage and cohesion defense. You can only level up one of these because they do the inverse effect of each other. One gives you 1% damage for the cost of 1% defense, and the other is vice versa. So based on your scenario that you're doing, you might want to be invested in one or the other. So quickly to add one thing to this is, say you have your skill build done and you want to make multiple builds on your character, but you don't want to keep resetting, putting all your points in every single time you're doing that. What your character has on this is called respec stats. Over here you have a couple of areas where you could save a spec. So if I save a spec here and just type in leveling build. Well, I guess I can't do that. What's called leveling. What this does is it remembers all of this. So now if I go change my build to something else, I'll just quickly have to, yeah, I'll do that later. But if you go and change your build, you can always just go back here, click respec, and then click back, and it will switch you back to that exact same build. So example, now I've invested some points, and now I'm like, I want to experiment some more. I want to put all my points into here, put them all in Starlight Shower. Oh, let's level up this too. And then like, oh, I messed up. I didn't want to do this. Damn it, I want to go back. Oh, luckily I made a spec to that build, so I could switch back to that spec. Puts you in a 4-minute cooldown. And I look at all those points I just put back in, it reverted it back to where I had it previously saved. One thing you need to notice though is if you hover over the first screen button, this is where you update your spec, it tells you when you need to update your spec by. So for example, if my character ever hits level 1050 or 55,000 skill points, I will outlevel the spec, which means I'll have to delete it and then save a new spec. So always try to switch to your specs you have, update them, and then go forward from there. I hope this video was useful to you guys. That's pretty much the basics of skills. Just try best, experiment a bit. I know it's a little confusing at first, but it's a great system the game has. It's unique to Red Moon 2, so you'll have a blast. Enjoy!